We just poured concrete with a Black Hawk helicopter.
Did you ask for a ride? Like, I need to supervise what you're doing. I need to jump on board.
Everybody on the crew was jockeying to try and figure out how to get a ride.
Did you have a president come and ski down one of your slopes?
We've had the Dalai Lama ski Santa Fe.
Are you serious?
Yeah. I love going skiing. That's why I'm in this industry. Everybody's having a good time. And it's just, you can unload off the lift, make a couple of turns, and all of a sudden, like, you'd be like, yeah, this is why I do this. Like, this is awesome.
Hello and welcome to Good Job New Mexico. I'm your host, Stacy Johnston, and today I am joined by the Regional Manager for our Employment Services Division, Anthony Jenks.
Hello, thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here with us for this one. We're talking with Tommy Long. He is the Ski Santa Fe Operations Manager, and this one was really interesting for me because I don't know anything about snow or skiing. What about you?
I don't either. I've done it once, and it was a terrible experience. I never really did it again. I just played other sports. When I lived in Santa Fe.
Okay, well, that just threw me off because I didn't know you lived in Santa Fe.
Mm-hmm. Grew up in Santa Fe, went to high school in Santa Fe, and then moved to Las Cruces when I went to college.
So give us a little bit of your background.
Grew up in Santa Fe, moved to Las Cruces to go to college. When I graduated college, I got a job right out of college with Enterprise Rent-A-Car, which brought me to Albuquerque. So I went through their manager and training program and moved up really fast and became a branch manager after about 2.5 years. And from there, I decided that I wanted to change careers a little bit and got a job with the Albuquerque Isotopes and the grounds crew there. So bit of a pivot, did that for about 5 years. And in my 5th year, I got a critical components technician job at Intel. So
another big pivot.
Yes, yes. The move going to Intel was based on the schedule. I had small children, so I could work Sunday through Tuesday, Sunday through Wednesday, and my wife could work the rest of the week, and we never had to put our kids in daycare. So that's the main reason why I did that job. And while I was at Intel, I worked for a contractor there and was able to move up pretty quickly to a lead position where I led a group that would work on decontaminating parts within the factory or the fab. And then we would just put them back together and send them back into the fab. So that's what we did there. I did that for about 3 years until I got laid off over there. After about 2 months being laid off, the company I worked for asked me to come back, and I worked at a facility with them at Mesa del Sol for about 2 years. About my 2nd year back with them, which was my 5th year with them, kind of felt like the semiconductor industry was a little too volatile. So I started looking at state government, and I found an opening for a career consultant. I believe it was in Rio Rancho at the time. And so I actually interviewed for the job here like 3 times before I finally got it. I started as a career consultant in 2015, moved up to become an area supervisor.
Hold on. When you were still just a career consultant, I can still remember because you won Employee of the Month.
Yeah.
Excellent worker. I think everybody saw the talent right away.
Yeah. I think that was my 2nd year in. And now at the time I was doing trade adjustment assistance. So I was helping people go back to school that were laid off. And I actually helped a bunch of my coworkers from Intel.
Wow, crazy.
Yeah, it came full circle. A lot of the folks that were laid off at the same time I was got into the TA program, and I didn't even know it was a thing because I went back to work. So put a bunch of them through nursing school, medical records school, x-ray school, a lot of medical stuff is what they were getting into. So that was fun. And then so from there I became an area supervisor, moved up to area manager, and now I'm a regional manager.
And do you love it here?
I do. Every day's different. I view my job as, I don't want to say I have a lot of ambition necessarily. I just want to be there for my staff. And that's what drives me is making sure that my managers and their staff have what they need to serve the public.
Yeah, and you're really good at your job. And I think all of them would attest to that as well. I think Tommy really loves his job too. And I think he kind of went through something a little bit similar as your career path, where it's like you're doing a couple other things, but then it's like, you found the thing that you're passionate about and you just stick with it. And something else that I really loved about his job is that he was curious about everything. And what he was saying is that when you do all these other jobs, it sets you up to be a really great manager because you've been there and you've worked those jobs that other people are coming into that you're now managing, which is very similar to your job also, working as a career consultant and now managing the managers of those career consultants and things like that.
Yeah, I think I can say I've pretty much done everything that can be done in the field. So I have that experience and can lean on that whenever staff have questions.
Something else about Ski Santa Fe or any ski industry here in New Mexico is that if you're interested in working, their seasonal hires start in the fall. So we're right around the corner from that.
That's
so
right.
if you're interested in working a seasonal job, or maybe you want to make the pivot to work in the ski industry, now's the time. But yeah, it was really great talking with Tommy. He was very interesting, really fun conversation, and we hope you all enjoy. So without further ado, here's Tommy Long. Can you tell us where you grew up?
I grew up in Albuquerque, New Mexico, on the east side of the Sandias. Went to high school in Albuquerque and went to UNM. So kind of a local kid.
Nice. And now you just commute up to Santa Fe every day?
I do, yeah. So I drive to Santa Fe every day.
It's a nice little break in the day.
It's
a
not
good time
terrible.
for podcasts listening.
Right. I listen to a lot of podcasts. I listen to a lot of books on tape, and it's a lot of fun.
So when you were little and people asked you, what do you want to be when you grow up? What'd you say?
I wanted to be pretty much everything. I wanted to be a helicopter pilot. I wanted to be a race car driver. I wanted to be a lawyer because people told me I argued really well.
Oh,
but
geez.
I hope not. But I actually was very fortunate. I grew up in the ski industry. Both my parents were in the industry. And so I spent a lot of time around ski areas. And I spent a lot of time like hanging out and then doing stuff. And so it was a pretty natural fit. And then kind of as I went along, I found a bunch of stuff I didn't want to do. And I kept coming back to the ski business. And so it was kind of just natural for me to end up there.
So were you like the 3-year-old that's already on the skis going down the hill?
Yeah, I learned to ski when I was 2 and kept doing it ever since. I never learned to snowboard. It was too hard for me. So
Yeah. Disclaimer, I've never skied.
Okay.
I sledded, but I've made a snowball.
Perfect. You got 50% of the prerequisite. So
I skied once when I was in 6th grade, and I went to the ski basin.
Okay.
And my mom gave me a white sweatsuit, and I couldn't understand why everybody was laughing at me when I was there. And that was the last time I ever went skiing.
Nice.
Did you have like a traumatic fall or something?
Well, no, I just didn't know how to ski. So yeah, I fell a lot of times when I was trying to go down the first time.
I feel like my knees are too fragile to pick this up now.
No, you'd be fine. 100%.
Oh, okay. Do a lot of people wear big knee pads and elbow pads? Would I be the only one?
People learning to snowboard, generally speaking, have more padding on to start.
Yeah.
I've been told snowboarding historically is easier on your knees. So kind of once you've learned to do it, snowboarding may be the way to go. Skiing, let's see, easier to learn, harder to master. Snowboarding, harder to learn, easier to master. Learning to snowboard, you get beat up your first couple of days.
Yee.
Because you just both your feet are strapped to one thing. So it's harder to keep yourself from falling on the ground. Skiing, your feet are operating independently, but it's probably a slower process to kind of that mastery. But so yeah, learn to snowboard. Start now. Be fine.
For sure. Okay, so I'm going to rewind us back a little bit. So you did a couple different occupations before you decided, nope, I'm in the industry. So what were those jobs beforehand that you decided, nah, that wasn't for you?
I was a delivery truck driver. I did some cold calling, and I ran a landscaping business. All of were fine, right? They were great. My experiences in all of them were fantastic. Running a landscaping business was very interesting. I still think back on it now as great experience. But my heart wasn't in any of those things. I was very fortunate to have a lot of people that as a young kid, you could kind of hero worship in the industry, right? And I got to hang out with those people all the time, and I got to be around them. And so it made you kind of I didn't really think of a whole lot of other things. That seemed to be a great path. I respected those people, and they were great role models. So that was where I wanted to be.
And were you a seasonal employee? Would you go for the ski season?
Yeah, I started out as a kid teaching kids to ski. And so that was really cool, introduction. And so in the wintertime, I would teach skiing, and then I would go to school and I would do all these other things. And as I got older, then they needed some help like on summertime stuff, so I could get involved in there. And I kind of just kept doing that through college. And then I got super fortunate graduating from college. A ski area, Pajarito Mountain ski area in Los Alamos, was getting ready to install a snowmaking system. So they needed help. So I got to build a snowmaking system from the ground up, which is actually pretty rare, right? Most places have kind of figured that out already. So that was a really cool process. And then when we were done with that, they needed somebody to run it. And so I got to be the snowmaking manager, and it was great. It was a full-time year-round job, essentially straight out of college. So I watched a lot of my friends stress and do internships and go around and try and find, something that was going to fit. And I was really lucky. I had something that was going to work for me, and it was full-time year-round right out of the gate. So super fortunate, but yeah.
Did you leave Albuquerque to Los Alamos?
I commuted Albuquerque to Los Alamos. So,
oh my gosh.
Yeah, I've been doing the commute for a long time.
Well, then Albuquerque is like nothing.
Oddly enough, given the road to Santa Fe ski area, it ends up almost being the same amount of time to drive to Los Alamos than it does to Santa Fe.
Wow.
More mileage to Los Alamos, about the same amount of time.
That's kind of wild.
Yeah.
So I got to ask about the snowmaking.
Sure.
How does it work?
So snowmaking is an interesting piece, right? We have to do it the same way Mother Nature does. They have now what they call like a snow factory, which is an all-weather snowmaker. It doesn't make quite the same product. It's more like a shaved ice almost. Snowmaking, kind of how most ski areas are doing in the traditional sense, is you have what you would call like a snow gun, right? That's the machine. It's taking really high pressure water. It's shooting it through a really, really small nozzle. And then it's got a fan that blows it really, really high up in the air. And so it's just you're trying to get the smallest water droplet possible to freeze and fall down as snow. There's some more to it. You have nozzles that like spray into each other. It breaks the surface tension of a water droplet. So then it turns into more of a snowflake, kind of more of a natural product and stuff. But at its core, it's just taking water, shooting it really, really high up into the air and hoping that it falls down as snow. Like I said, over the course of time, they've gotten it to be a much more natural feeling product. Now, you can have a lot of control. They have some automation inside snow guns and in pump houses and stuff that are helping optimize your air to water ratio and stuff to make it the best that it can be. But in reality, we're doing the same thing Mother Nature is. It's just cold temps and water.
Okay, so tell us your trip from starting out, this is where I want to be, to management. And did you have mentors along the way? Did you see a clear path for yourself?
So let's see, clear path. I started out, so like I said, early on, I started out teaching skiing. There's Professional Ski Instructors of America, which is an organization that kind of certifies ski instructors. So if you went kind of the traditional route, there's a certification program that goes along with that. And it lays that out pretty clearly, right? Like you get a level 1, you get a level 2, you get a level 3. Then you can go like beyond that if you want to pursue that route. But if you were interested in like being a career ski instructor, you could follow that path. Most of the time, right, you would then follow that and transition into a supervisor or management type role. And for me, I liked teaching people to ski instead of teaching skiing to people. Teaching people to ski, I think is a lot of fun, right? It's neat to introduce people to that. But I enjoyed the mechanical aspect of things, like working on equipment and being a part of that. So as soon as I had the opportunity to get involved in those areas, that's what I chose to focus on. Within that, then I've always told people like succeeding in the ski industry is showing up, right? Show up, volunteer for things when things come up. Things always come up. Can you help with this? Sure, I can help with that. Opportunities present themselves all the time. And so if you're willing to take advantage of them, they're there. Within that, then it was, I was presented with different opportunities that, hey, would you like to learn how to do lift maintenance? Sure, I'd like to help with that. Would you like to learn how to do this? Sure, I'd like to help with that. I think we're pretty fortunate here in New Mexico, the size of the ski industry that we have, or the size of the ski areas we have. They're kind of medium-sized ski areas to small ski areas. If you look at the industry, they're not these like mega resorts, right? So it gives you the opportunity to get involved and work in a lot of different places. There's a lot of crossover on our teams. You can work in the lift department, but there could be something that, the the mechanics need help with, or vice versa, right? So it gives you the opportunity to get involved in all kinds of different stuff and learn a lot of different skills. So where I grew up was at some of the smaller ski areas, and I got to do all kinds of different things. I got to work in tons of different departments. I got to work in all kinds of like jobs and whatnot, right? That historically you'd probably get more pigeonholed. You'd be an electrician, or you'd be a mechanic, or you would be a cook. At some of these places, you got to do all of that. And so it was great for me. I like the variety. I like doing different things. And then it kind of gives you that like wealth of experience. And then if you want to be more specialized, obviously you can make that decision. But otherwise you can continue to just sort of dabble and learn kind of all of it. And
I say that here in training, because that was part of our onboarding, was to just stay.
Sure, yeah.
Because the more that you do that, you can explore all those different areas, and the more you're exposed to other things, you're just better at your job. Do you see that too?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
People that rise up through the ranks around here are the ones that have done it all. And so, I mean, that's probably the same for most areas, but I think in your case, being able to do everything puts you in a position to have the answers to everything too. And actually, I wanted to ask, I'm sure you see a lot of crazy things that happen out there as well. You probably have certain things that happen that involve search and rescue, or, people getting lost, maybe even avalanches sometimes. What is some of the craziest things you've seen?
Oh gosh, to your point, yeah, 100%. Ski industry has all the crazy facets of a lot of industries all rolled into one place, right? Like we have food and beverage operations, so you get all the stuff that comes along with that. We're teaching people to ski, and then we have like kids programs, so you kind of have like a dare care component. All the stuff that goes along with like an amusement park, heavy equipment mechanics, like construction sites. We get all of that kind of stuff. So yeah, our ski patrol folks out there are involved in search and rescue stuff. And if there's a way that we can lend a hand, we'll always try. So we've done some interesting stuff with that. One that comes to mind kind of like recently at Santa Fe, we've been building some lifts the last couple of years, and we're doing that in-house, which is an interesting component. Not a ton of ski areas are doing it themselves anymore, but given our company's experience and that kind of stuff, we chose to go that route. So, but working with big helicopters, like we just poured concrete with a Black Hawk helicopter. So getting to do that and work around stuff like that you probably just wouldn't in a lot of places. So
did you ask for a ride? Like I is what you're doing.
Everybody on the crew was jockeying to try and figure out how to get a ride, but it's a fairly expensive per hour, so we tried to keep it on work and stuff. But yeah, so I mean, you get to see a variety of pretty odd or crazy things, and then some really neat things too, right? Like you go out there and you get to welcome all these people to like an amazing environment. And a really fun activity, something that, you can kind of share for a lifetime. And it's those parts are really neat and stuff. So kind of runs the full gamut. And it depends on what your focus is. The patrol and that kind of, those folks, they're going to see way more like the rescue and the search and rescue type stuff. Snowmakers and groomers, they're working at night with big equipment and high pressure water and high voltage. So they're going to see all the stuff that comes with that. And then, all the way to like our food and beverage folks who are going to see like how crazy it is to be in a, on a prep line or on a cooking line with 4,000 customers there. So yeah. So, and it's as much as you try, like all 4,000 people want to eat at noon. So
that's when I would go to peak.
Right. Yep. Everybody does. Everybody does.
So as a manager now, is it complicated with the staffing to know I'm going to need more people on this day than I'm going to need tomorrow? Or is it pretty regulated on how you manage the staffing?
It can be pretty different. Yeah. At peak levels, Santa Fe, we staff about 500 people in the wintertime. Wow. And then we go down to, depending on what we're doing in the summer, it may be as low as 20. So the staffing can swing wildly, right, between those two. And then it's a 7-day-a-week operation. It goes every day from Thanksgiving to Easter if we can hit it, right? So it can be fairly complex. On the flip side, you have all your department managers, right? And they're doing a great job of making sure that their departments are staffed appropriately. And we're super fortunate, right? We have a fair amount of people who have done this for a while, right? They've got the ins and outs. They kind of understand the flow. The next piece that changes things a lot is just what the ski season looks like, right? Last year, with a little bit less snow, sometimes you're just a little bit less busy. So you have to make those adjustments on the fly. You have to look at what kind of your business levels are and go like, okay, we just don't need as many people doing this thing right now that we, that we would on a busier year. So yeah, I think there's some changes and some stuff that you have to be aware of.
When is the hiring season if somebody wants to work there?
Most of the time it kicks off in the fall, October, November. It can vary a little bit depending on ski areas and when they're trying to open and stuff. Sipapu opens like super early, so their hiring and job fairs will be a little bit earlier. Again, for Santa Fe, it's first part of November because we're going to open for Thanksgiving. So to your point, like earlier question, right? You need that time to get people hired, get them in, get them trained up, and then get everybody ready to open the ski area and stuff. So generally speaking, in the fall.
I feel like your industry is really unique because of the seasonality. And so do you feel like you're constantly in this cycle of training? Because you probably have regulars that come back, but the new ones that come in on the regular, do you feel like you're constantly in that loop?
Yeah. I mean, the idea is that you develop a core, right? And that your core people are going to come back every year and they're going to be there to kind of build the skeleton of the ski area. And then you're going to bring in all your new folks that are, hungry to learn and excited to be there. And then you're going to teach those folks what they need to do to be kind of a part of the operation, what to expect and that kind of stuff. So there definitely is a training cycle every year that you have to do. Up to and including throughout the year, right? We're constantly bringing people on as business levels change or depending on the types of year, right? Christmas break and spring break and that kind of stuff. The staffing levels change and business levels change. So there is a component of training throughout the year. And then obviously, yeah, you're gonna do a pretty big training push in November and stuff.
For the certification, do individuals working there have to get recertified every year? Or is it when you get certified, it's good for X amount of years?
Yeah. So on the ski instruction side, if you're level 1 certified, as long as you keep kind of active in the organization, your certification remains. You don't have to go. You need to do some like clinics and stuff and some continuing education stuff, but you don't have to like retest at a level 1 or a level 2 like that. As long as you maintain your certification, it stays active.
So we talk about seasonal work here quite a bit. What kind of jobs do your workers get when they're not working on the ski basin? Sure, yeah. A lot of our folks, if they're from the restaurant side, right, they kind of naturally transition over to the restaurant, industry in town and stuff. Otherwise, you're looking at river guides, fly fishing guides, rock climbing, a lot of those other kind of partner industries, some golf course stuff, like if you're used to maintaining a snow surface, maintaining a golf surface isn't necessarily a wild stretch. So I think that kind of the natural partner industries that you'd think of, fishing, hunting, guiding, those are big crossover areas for us. And it's something that, we've been pretty excited about on the Ski New Mexico side. The group of us is trying to cultivate that, right? Like we feel like we have really cool and awesome employees. Obviously, selfishly, we want them to come back to us in the wintertime. We just always can't offer them employment throughout the summer and year round. Having said that, we want them to go to like our awesome partners in the summer industry. So A, they get to benefit from awesome people. And then B, we want it to be an easy transition for them to come back in the fall to be back with us in the wintertime. So, our hope is that, we can take folks that are interested and passionate, give them skills and opportunity, and then hopefully other places benefit from that as well so that the cycle can continue. And that was one of the other things I was wondering is established pipelines between yourself and your partners in the summer. What does that look like? Some of them, it varies depending on like the community and stuff. A lot of times those people running the other businesses, thankfully, are users of our business. So most of the time it can be just that like, hey, I met so-and-so through skiing or snowboarding at the ski area. We're on your guys' podcast, but I will say your guys' partnership has been immense, right? Helping get the word out that we've had job fairs that we've hosted at the ski area. We've had job fairs that we've been a part of like in town and stuff. And it's all been facilitated through you guys. So your guys' partnership has been great for that piece. So, when you talk about like what partnerships are out there, you guys are a huge part of it.
Good job, Anthony. To you and your staff.
Well, I think Mary Maria probably had a big part in that.
Yeah, I mean, I know like we've worked with Kenny Fernandez a bunch. And yeah, and he's been great. He's Johnny on the spot. He asks us all the time, like, hey, what do you guys need? What are you guys interested in? Hey, we want to do this. Do you think that would help you guys? So the partnership has been fantastic. And I think that it's going to continue to lead to a big piece of that success.
All right, let's get down to the nitty gritty. Okay. Take us through a typical day for you.
Okay, so typical day, it kind of depends, again, on like what the weather's done, right? So on those like snow mornings, for me, we're in early. We're trying to get kind of the ski area prepped for guests to come. So it's shoveling, it's making sure walkways and staircases are open. It's making sure that things are de-iced. It's making sure that all of that awesome fresh snow is ready for people to take advantage of. Parking lots are plowed and that kind of stuff. And then you're opening the ski area and welcoming all your guests in, right? So hopefully you have your 4,000 closest friends that are coming to visit you that day, and making sure that they get parked, that they get their tickets, that they get their rentals, that they get hooked up with their instructor, that they get out to the lifts and they get their cup of hot chocolate or their breakfast burrito, right? So it focuses a lot on making sure that customer experience is nailed down and taken care of. On a non-snow morning, you're just omitting that front half, right? All of that's already taken care of. You're just not out there shoveling the walkways and stuff. So, but the focus is still the same. It's making sure that the guests are taken care of and they're excited and having fun.
What's your typical work day, though? Is it 12-hour days or what's your shifts?
Yeah, probably for me, it's probably about 12 hours. For a fair amount of our people, we're trying to 10 hours, like 4 10s. Yeah, which is a fairly doable thing. And there's a lot of opportunity in there being a 7-day-a-week operation, right? Like you can kind of find your spot that works.
Is it exciting when it's like, yes, the schools have shut down for snow day. We're going to get...
Yeah, I mean, as exciting as it is for the kids to not have school that day, it's just as exciting for us that they don't have school that day, right?
For sure.
I think that all of us that are in the ski industry are still that little kid who was super excited to not have to go to school that day.
Or is this impacting you now? Because now it's virtual learning. So have you seen a decrease?
I think most people who are committed to that, they're going to come skiing or snowboarding.
They're like, let's knock out this homework in 20 minutes and get out of here.
Yeah. We make sure that we have Wi-Fi available in the lodge just in case you need to,
Yeah, so bring your phone down, get it done.
Right, do your virtual learning and then make sure you're out there taking advantage of the snow.
So give us a fun story that's happened.
A fun story that's happened. Let's see.
Like, did you have a president come and ski down one of your slopes or like?
We've had the Dalai Lama ski Santa Fe.
Are you serious?
Yeah. The Dalai Lama came to ski Santa Fe. He came in during our fall chair period. So there wasn't snow on the ground, but he rode the lifts and kind of toured around and checked out the ski area and stuff. So that was really cool. Yeah, I think that you look at it from the standpoint of like those days that you do, like that the snow's deep, you look around and you see like all these people out there having fun. They can be stressful days, but at the end of the day, that's what you're there for. And that's what is super exciting, right? Like that's what kind of keeps you going. And it's really neat to see. Like you're in this beautiful environment. You're getting to do this thing that you're passionate about doing, right? Like I love going skiing. That's why I'm in this industry. And so when you get to be there on those days and everybody's having a good time and it's just like you can unload off the lift, you can make a couple of turns and all of a sudden like you'd be like, yeah, this is why I do this. Like this is awesome.
To do what you love is the dream.
Right. And yeah. I feel incredibly fortunate, right? There's tons of people on the planet that get up every morning and don't like what they do. And that's not me. I get up every morning and I really enjoy what I do.
They could if they want to come and work at Say.
Well, all they have to do is sign up to their local ski area job fair.
There you go. So with your job, it sounds like there's a lot of peaks and a lot of fun. What are the challenges?
Yeah, the challenges are it's a marathon, right? You're opening, like I said, hopefully you're opening right around Thanksgiving. You're operating every day, sometime in the spring. And so you want every one of those days to be capitalized on. You want your guest experience to be awesome every one of those days. At all of our ski areas, you want the guest that shows up on a Tuesday, like in February, you want their experience to be just as good as the guest that was there when it was like super exciting and all this fresh snow and all of that. Like you want every day to be great for those people. Most of the time they they had to drive some amount of distance, right? Even at Santa Fe, like even our locals are driving 30 minutes to get up the road. They had to make the commitment to come and experience that. You want that experience to be positive. And then you have a finite amount of time to do it, right? It's a seasonal thing. A lot of people are expanding into the summer season, but it's just not the same, right? The summer's great. Mountain biking is awesome. Summer chair rides are great. Alpine slides, coasters, but they're still ski areas, right? They're not alpine coaster areas.
Do you have a coaster?
No. Santa Fe, we do like scenic chair rides in the fall. Yeah. We don't have mountain biking or that at Santa Fe. The folks in New Mexico that are doing the mountain biking piece, they're doing a great job with it, and it's awesome.
If I had to work there, I would for sure work where people have to get picked up on the chair because I think it'd be fun to watch. I would not make it, but like, is it the kind of? And I don't know. I'm so sorry, I haven't been there. But is there a bar that comes down over you?
Yeah, so our lifts, they all have like a comfort bar that comes down in front of you.
I would need not having the comfort bar is so scary to think about. I can't.
Fair enough.
I go to worst case scenario, and I think that's like a mom brain probably, but like no.
And then there's the people who can't get off the chair in time and you have to go back around.
Exactly. So I would want to work right there to see what's going on. Did people make it? Did they not make it?
Right. It is a spot of high activity. For sure, yeah.
I bet.
Yeah, being a lift operator and plus you get a lot of guest interaction, right? That's the spot where you get to talk to our people a lot, and you can really make or break a day of skiing for somebody on how that interaction goes. So it's a good place to be.
Where's that tree? There's like a tree somewhere where people throw beads on it. Is that in New Mexico?
Yeah, almost every ski area has a Mardi Gras tree.
Every single one.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. These are things I'm learning.
Yeah. So
John's laughing at me like.
So pretty much every ski area you go to, if you look around, you'll find the Mardi Gras tree.
I feel unqualified for this interview as somebody that's never been.
That's all right. That's all right.
I'm representing the people that, on the other side. But you can still work there even though you've never skied
100%.
before.
And that's part of the beauty, right? Like all joking aside, we have tons of places that you don't need to even want to ski or snowboard to work there. From legal departments to, sales to event coordination, all of those things, like skiing or snowboarding is not a prerequisite, right? You don't, like I said, you don't even have to have the desire to. You can just enjoy working outdoors in the mountains and enjoy the environment. And so I think that's another kind of unique piece of the industry, right? Is that if you like corporate law, you could still do that for a ski area and just do corporate law with a really cool office.
Is there a secret tip for people to know, like, you should really plan on this day of the week?
My favorite days to be at the ski area are like Tuesdays. They're generally quieter days.
So sorry, all managers out there, if you don't have staff
on Tuesdays, it's my fault.
They might be
right. I think they're great, right? Like you can go, you have a lot of fun. There's just less people there, and it's great. It's great, super enjoyable. You'll see a lot of local faces, a lot of smiling people, and you get to have a lot of fun.
Do you have a favorite run, and is it parachute?
Parachute's awesome. I think right now I'm a little biased, right? Because I work at Santa Fe. If you ride up the triple and you go right off the top and you ski onto Gateway and the view that you get from standing at the top of that run, I think is maybe undefeated in the state. Like I said, I'm a little biased because I work there, but it is a fantastic view. And you get to see a lot of the state of New Mexico and kind of its natural beauty. And it's tough to beat.
And I'm sorry, did you say it's a double?
Oh, it's a balloon. Okay. It's an intermediate run. No, an intermediate run. It's probably our most popular run off the top of the mountain. Yeah. And the vista that opens up as kind of you turn the corner, you come through like a copse of trees, and like the vista that opens up is incredible. And it's worth it.
Yeah, I think I would be right there on Easy Street.
Easy Street, there's nothing wrong with that. We're putting a new lift in on Easy Street this year. So, you come up, you're going to hang out on Easy Street, you'll have a brand new lift to ride. So.
And there hasn't been an incident of a wild animal or something. I mean, it's probably hibernation season, but nothing.
2 years ago, there was a moose hung around the ski area.
No way.
Yeah. It was on the news a little bit. Like there was a moose that had wandered down.
Did you name him?
So our mid-mountain restaurant is Totemoffs, and so we made a Totemoose shirt. And so
nice.
You could get a shirt that was like the Totemoose shirt for a while. And it hung around the ski area. And we would, depending on like if somebody saw it or where it was that day, we might shepherd people away from that area just to make sure that we didn't have odd interactions. But I mean, you're out in the wild, right? Like it's a cultivated experience, right? The runs are cut, the lifts are there. There's restaurants and bathrooms and that kind of stuff. Having said all of that, there is wildlife around, and every once in a while you can find videos out there of people interacting with wildlife they come into contact with. But fortunately, like you said, most of the time it's for the super weird stuff, it's hibernation season. You're not running into too much of it. So
What's some advice you would give to somebody that wants to follow in your same footsteps and be in management?
I think you have to be passionate about the industry. It's a very rewarding industry. It can be hard though. It has a seasonal component, which can be, if you aren't used to that, it can be a little tough until you can break into that kind of full-time year-round. And I think that the next piece is kind of what we were talking about earlier, right? Come in with big eyes, big ears, listen, learn, volunteer for opportunities that come up, and have fun. Like, you've got to take advantage of what the industry is offering. And right off the bat, it's offering a sport, which is cool and fun to do. It's offering a beautiful environment to do it in. And it gives you, in my opinion, it gives you the chance to be a part of something bigger than yourself, right? You're doing all of this work so that a lot of other people can come enjoy this thing. And when it works right, it's really neat. And you get to be a part of that. And so I think that you have to go into it with that in mind.
Is the day draining? Because it is a lot of interaction with the people that are there, the staff. Do you feel like the balance of work-life balance is really there? Or do you feel like you need that drive home is like a good wind down from actions?
Yeah, the drive is tough, right? It has its own hardships to it. But on the flip side of that, I get to, like every morning I get up, I get to drink a cup of coffee. I get to listen to a podcast on the way to work. I get to kind of take some time to gear up for the day, which is super nice. Then when I get to work, I've had a chance to kind of get started. Same on the way home. I get a chance to kind of wind down. I get to process the day, put some of it away that needs to be put away, and then, go home to my 4-year-old daughter. I have a little girl. So you want to try and get home and be a part and be a dad too. Work-life balance in the ski industry, a lot of it depends on, like, again, how you want to do it. Like, what pieces do you want to be a part of? What level of involvement do you want to have? It can be challenging from the standpoint that, again, like we're talking about, it's a lot of go time from November to April. With that, though, I'm, again, a little bit biased, but I grew up at a ski area. I was there tons, and it was a great playground to grow up at. It was wildly fun to go out and be a kid at a ski area. It's a life that I continue to choose to do having a 4-year-old. Like, I want her to get exposed to the same thing, and I want her to get to see that piece and enjoy that and kind of grow up the same way I got to. And even though the world has changed drastically, right? There's all kinds of differences between when I was a kid to now. It's one thing that actually I feel has stayed very consistent, right? Is that, like, it's still, for our ski areas in the state, it still feels very much like they're family oriented. It's a great place to, like, be around and have your kids and that kind of stuff. So I think it's a pretty unique deal that in even how much everything else has changed in the world, that piece is still there.
And that was something I wanted to ask, if you had noticed an evolution in the sport since you were a kid growing up in it. Has anything changed equipment-wise, people-wise?
Yeah, I think everything has changed except the feeling and the people doing it, right? Like, the equipment, skis, snowboards. When I was growing up, right, I'll date myself a little bit, but when I was growing up, it was straight skis still. Super long, straight skis. Now, much shorter, dynamic equipment. They've added, like, rocker to skis, which will help initiate turns and make it easier on people to learn. Like, they've completely revamped the equipment market. Technology in snowmaking, like we talked about early, right? Like, that's wildly different, making such a better a man-made snow product. Grooming, like the machines that you use for grooming, like, if you look at them compared to what it was when I started driving a snowcat, right? Like, it's a Cadillac now, and they're big, and they got, like, 1 million lights, and they're super cool. Like, I mean, if you could pick one thing that people see and they're like, I want to do that, it's drive a snowcat. Well, and I was fortunate enough as like the snowmaking manager, and when I was at Pajarito, I did a lot of grooming. So I did a lot of night work. I got to drive their winch cat, which is specifically designed to groom like really, really steep runs and stuff. And so you can, and that experience, right? Like being around the ski area at night is a whole different level of awesome and beautiful, right? Because most of the time you're out in these like remote locations. So the sky is dark. The stars are incredible. You're out there kind of by yourself doing this thing to get, ski runs ready for the next day and stuff. But you're still in these great environments and you're doing something that's pretty neat and you're working with a piece of equipment that just like most people on the planet are never going to get to do. And again, like it's work. You've got to do it at some point. Like it's like mowing a lawn with a really big lawnmower, but it is doing it that lawn is located in a pretty cool spot and it's neat. It's very neat.
Okay, we're going to go to some rapid, not so rapid questions.
Okay.
Work from home or in the office? Do you get to ever?
No.
Okay, so it's always in the office, but
Always
the
in the
office is...
That's right. It's a great office to go to. No. Unless I'm doing a podcast. I'm not at the office today. So, yeah.
All right. Biggest fear or phobia?
Biggest fear or phobia? Ooh, I don't love spiders. I don't love snakes. And no snow.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably my biggest phobia.
Makes sense.
For sure. We're not going to go to the top of the mountain.
I would, but I won't get to the edge.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, like, fair enough. Like, because like heights don't bother me. It's the sudden stop at the bottom that bothers me.
Right.
Yeah.
Skis or snowboard?
Skis all the way. Yeah. No hatred for snowboard at all. I could not do it. I was not capable. So I stuck with my skis.
Is your daughter doing skis?
She's actually a snowboarder.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, she's expressed interest in maybe doing both, but the first piece of equipment she got on was a snowboard. So, yeah.
Do you eat at work or do you bring your lunch?
I will eat at work. Yeah. I think actually our food and beverage operation does a very good job. So I have no problem eating at work, but I won't, I don't eat at noon. I eat it. Yeah, it's like it's 11 or it's 1:30.
Do you have a messy desk or a clean workspace?
Messy desk.
Yeah.
Same.
Everybody says like, oh, like clean desk, clean mine. And
Yeah.
I can't ever get it. Like people make fun of me for it.
I try. I go into piles.
Yeah.
But then the piles get spread out the very night.
Well, and like generally speaking, I try and make it a goal to start every ski season with a clean desk. But by Christmas, like it's a nightmare.
But you put that in that counts.
Right. Yeah.
If you didn't have this job, what job would you choose?
Oh, what job would I choose? Probably like something the exact opposite. I'd be like a scuba dive instructor or something.
Yeah.
Just something completely opposite. Still outdoors. Yeah, I like that part a lot. For sure. Yeah, that part wouldn't change.
Fresh air, gotta have it.
Yeah.
What's your number one work habit?
Number one work habit. I walk too fast at work. Like and like I'm short. Like I'm short. I have short legs. But like people will tell me like, why do you walk so fast? I'm like, I don't think I do, but apparently I walk too fast at work. And I have a tendency to take that home. Like I walk around too fast. Maybe that's it.
Well, you have the radio, right?
I have the radio.
I would probably get separated and be like, can you please slow down?
Slow down.
You lost.
Yeah, I also have a tendency to I text in radio jargon. So I'll use like 10 code in text messages.
Nice.
And people that don't know 10 code, like why are you sending me numbers?
Do you do like fake codes on like April Fools or something?
No.
People are like, I didn't learn that one.
Yeah, that's good. I might have to start.
Okay, I hope no one listens to this podcast.
Right. Don't stay to the end.
All right, last question.
Red or green?
Christmas.
Nice.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for the time today. I really appreciated you coming in.
Yeah, thank you guys. It was great.
Bye. This has been a New Mexico Department of Workforce Solutions production. Our producer is Milo Koleski. This episode was engineered and mixed by John Sloan. Theme music is One Fine Day, courtesy of podcast.co. Follow the show on social media at GoodJobNM. For program funding, visit our website, dws.state.nm.us/funding. Bye.